Thanks for choosing us. Let's begin with the convener of the Media Coalition Against Illegal Mining, Dr. Ken Ashigbe, who is demanding a logical conclusion to the investigations in connection with the operations of Akonta mining in the Tano Numeric Forest Reserve. His demands follows President Akufo-Addo's defense of Akonta Mining Company Limited on the subject when he addressed the 28th National and 16th Biennial Congress of the National Union of Ghana Catholic Diocese Priests Association in Koforidua. According to him, Akonta Mining Company Limited, as we speak, is not involved in any form of any illegal mining anywhere in Ghana. He was responding to a question posed by the convener of the Media Coalition Against Illegal Mining at the conference.
Before I take my seat, let me respond briefly to the chairperson on the issue of illegal mining. I want to assure him and all of you that Akonta Mining is not engaged in any illegal mining anywhere in Ghana as we speak. Further, the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources has, through the agency of the Forestry Commission, with the assistance of the military, made the effort to cordon off all 294 sites of forest reserves in the country and rid them of illegal mining as we speak. We will continue to work to ensure that this situation remains permanent. This government is determined to win the fight against Galamsey, no matter the cost in effort.
The Coalition Against Illegal Mining had petitioned the IGP for an update on its investigations into the operations of Akonta Mining. Extracts of the statement by the coalition reads, and you can see that on your screens. It says, to the Inspector General of Police, a petition to IGP to prosecute directors of Akonta Mining. Further to our letter on the above reference subject, we received feedback for a meeting scheduled with you for the 22nd of November through Mr. Senyor Jose, steering committee member of the coalition, who had delivered the letter to your office. This meeting was postponed at your instance. Ever since, we have been waiting for an appointment to meet you. In the interim, the Attorney General responded to a similar petition we sent him on the same subject, in which he stated that he is not capable of acting in any suspected criminal matter until you investigate and send your results to him. He stated inter alia that the Attorney General does not have the mandate to initiate investigations on its own volition. It is rather the Ghana Police and other relevant institutions closed with investigative powers who investigate cases and forward the results of the investigation to the Office of the Attorney General for advice or prosecution where necessary. We are currently unaware of any actions taken to investigate, arrest, and prosecute the directors and officers of Akonta Mining Limited, despite the incontrovertible evidence that the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, his ministry, and the Minerals Commission have in their possession, which shows that the said company has in fact undertaken the alleged illegal mining operations. And we are still convinced that evidence is sufficient to establish the company has a case to answer. You have sufficient basis to initiate prosecution against the company's directors and officers. Our conviction has been supported by several other stakeholders, including Ghana Catholic Bishops' Conference, who have called for the prosecution of same company for same offenses. We wish to remind you of our request for a new date to meet you and ask of some action to be taken on our petition. We hope to hear from you soon as we join hands to stop Galamsey, and it is signed by Engineer Dr. Kenneth Ashigbe. He's a convener of the Media Coalition Against Galamsey. Joining me via Zoom on this subject is Awula Sewa. She is an environmentalist and she has joined us with more this morning. Awula, I'm grateful for your time this morning. How does the President's response to the Akonta mining allegations come across to you as an environmentalist? Kindly unmute for me, Awula.
Good Morning, Happy New Year, and sorry about
Right.
that.
Many happy returns.
What shall I say? It's very sad to hear this. This is a president who told us he was putting his presidency on the line regarding illegal mining. We know as a fact, the evidence is there, that Akonta mining entered the Tano Nimiri Forest Reserve. We know for a fact that they did so. So for the president to tell us that as we speak, they are not engaged in illegal mining, it's like arresting an armed robber, taking his tools after he has traumatized and robbed a family, and then telling the family that at this current time, he's not engaged in armed robbery. Will that bring any comfort? What we want is accountability. And I'm happy to hear that the Media Commission against Galamsey is also doing its bit. And we hope that investigations will be conducted and the directors of Akonta Mining prosecuted for having entered the forest reserve and caused damage.
It does appear that, I mean, there's simply no commitment to ending this Galamsey menace. What would it take for us to be freed of illegal mining?
Well, if we want to be free of illegal mining, we need to take the right action, regardless of who is involved in it. The perception right now is that a lot of the illegal mining is sanctioned by various political interests. And the main political parties are not doing their bit because they are benefiting. So until we realize that we all have only one party, that is Ghana, and that illegal mining, and mining, I must say, not just illegal mining, irresponsible mining, even the legal mining is, as we sit right here, is damaging the country. Unless we realize that and are prepared to take the right step, regardless of who is involved, illegal mining will continue. And might I add that currently, Ghana is the leading country regarding deforestation in Africa. We are leading in deforestation. And there's no way we can convince anyone we are serious about the fight against illegal mining when Akonta mining directors are happily walking around after they have, according to our information, allegedly caused damage in a forest reserve. What business does any mining company have in a forest reserve? There's a reason why we have forest reserves, and it's not for mining to take place there.
So we've been talking about the dire consequences of this attitude of us, and it does look like we've not been loud enough. What are the dangers? I mean, how dangerous is this path that we're treading?
Well, the path is extremely dire. I mean, there are water concerns. Ghana Water Company has told us that at this rate, they might still not be able to purify our water. Are we going to import water? There are food sovereignty concerns, because once the land is polluted through the dangerous chemicals used in mining, our food will become unsafe. As we spoke right now, how safe are the tubers that we are having? We've also heard about health concerns in Galamsey areas. And if we are in Accra thinking we are safe, we better think again. Because the food we are consuming, the water we are drinking, the fishes we are eating, where do we think their waters are coming from? So we need to understand that this is a clear and present danger. It's not about political parties. It's about saving Ghana from disaster. We seem to be pressing the self-destruct button. We need to wake up, forget about party constitutions, put Ghana first, and seriously stop the fight. And nobody will believe we are serious once the directors of Akonta Mining, to give an example, are walking happily in Ghana without taking responsibility or being forced to take responsibility for the damage they have allegedly caused. Until then, nobody is going to take the fight seriously. As we speak, there's illegal mining going on in the Ofin River. It has been reported to the authorities. No action is being taken. How serious are we?
It's quite interesting because here at JoyNews, we've done a number of investigations. We've taken the pain. My colleague Erastus Asaridonko has visited almost all the rivers that are being polluted and has highlighted the dangers involved. Yet, we seem to be very comfortable where we are. Is it a hopeless situation?
It's not a hopeless situation. And as the president himself said, we should all be active citizens and not spectators. And I really thank the Media Coalition for what they are doing. So what we need to do and what eco-conscious citizens plan to do, if the police will not speed up their investigations.
But has the president given us reasons to be citizens and not spectators?
Well, he doesn't have to give us reason. We know that as human beings and as responsible citizens, we need to do the right thing, whether the leadership is doing that or not. Every individual has a role to play. Every individual has a responsibility. I have a responsibility. You have a responsibility. Our listeners have a responsibility. So eco-conscious citizens, which is a coalition of environmental organizations, we will take action against a Akonta mining company if the police seem to be reluctant in completing their investigations. Because what kind of signal are we sending? The signal we are sending is that we'll parade a few hapless individuals, maybe prosecute them and sentence them to I don't know how many years in prison. But if you're closely connected to the government or if you're well placed in society, you can engage in illegal mining or irresponsible mining. The fact that you have a license doesn't mean that you're engaging in responsible mining, and nothing will happen to you. You can continue poisoning our rivers, devastating our forests, and nothing will happen to you. This is unacceptable, and every Ghanaian should be incensed at what is going on. We are destroying Ghana, not just for ourselves, but for our children. What kind of legacy are we living, or are we leaving for them? So I'm really calling on everybody to look at the good work you've been doing in highlighting these issues and do something about it. And I'm calling on the president to live up to his word about putting his presidency on the line and seriously tackling illegal mining by, first of all, ensuring that the directors of Akonta mining are prosecuted. And indeed, any other person or company involved in illegal mining, whether as we speak or in the past, should be held accountable. Otherwise, it's all one big joke.
I'm grateful for your time. I will ask her why is environmentalist. She's also founder of the Eco-Conscious Citizens, and she says they will take action against Akonta mining. Now, to other stories, former director of the Ghana Health Service, Professor Ajiman Bedu-Akosa, is calling for the establishment of a general supervisory body to resolve the tension between various associations in the health sector. Professor Ajiman Bedu-Akosa made the call in relation to the recurring disagreement between the Ghana Medical Association and the Ghana Association of Medical Laboratory Scientists over the years, and the recent events at the Menchia Government Hospital involving the Ashanti Regional Boss of the National Service Scheme. He was speaking in an exclusive interview with JoyNews on the sidelines of the launch of the Maiden GMA MTN Doctors Award in Accra.
The Medical Association launched the maiden edition of the GMA MTN Doctors Award at the GMA House in Accra to celebrate the contribution of doctors to the health sector. Highlighting the rationale behind the awards, the General Secretary of the Association, Dr. Titus Kofi Bayo, said this will boost the morale of doctors across the country.
The award seeks to achieve only three things. One is to recognize and reward deserving doctors for their dedicated service to the nation. It is secondly to motivate other doctors to aspire to excellence in the profession. Finally, it seeks to foster collaboration between doctors, the GMA, and other stakeholders in the health sector and in the country in general.
Speaking to JoyNews on the sideline of the event, a former director of the Ghana Health Service, Professor Ajiman Bedu-Akosa, emphasized the essence of a regulatory body in addressing the friction between the medical associations.
I think one of the difficulties is that in this country there is lack of supervision. There's lack of supervision of all professional groupings. And it has allowed people to attempt to do what they like. And in essence, to go beyond what their capacity and capability permits them. And that is why this friction continues. Because I've worked in the UK, I know what happens there. There is no difficulty. Everybody, every professional group knows what they do, and they do it very well. And in the end, the patient gets better. We haven't gotten to that stage yet. And I want to implore all health professionals that we are in a new year. Let all of us pace back one moment, reflect on our training, on our capacity, on our capability, and know that we work as a team, a harmonious team, for the benefit of the patient, for the benefit of society, and for the benefit of this country, Ghana.
Professor Akosa noted that failure to do this could be destructive to Ghana's health sector.
Oh, I think it will be destructive. It will be destructive. You know, I said that elsewhere, where there are many, many subspecialties, it takes 65 professionals to treat one person. You can imagine the confusion if these 65 professionals are at each other's throat. The bottom line is that the patient will not be healthy, society will not be healthy, and Ghana as a whole will not be healthy.
The maiden edition of the Doctors Award is in partnership with MTN Business and is expected to come off in January next year to mark the start of an annual Doctors' Day celebration across the country. James Kwesi Aveji's report for Joy News.
The Dufia of Mafia Adidome in the Central Tone District of the Volta region, Togbe Kwasinika Kaklo Ajiman, the fifth, has lamented the high number of incidents of death among the youth in the country. He attributes the death to substance abuse, hence advised the youth to desist from such acts, including intake of aphrodisiacs, to avoid early deaths. He said this in an interview with JoyNews on the sideline of a health screening exercise organized by a philanthropist, 100K for Ghana.
100K for Ghana is a benevolent organization made up of people from different countries intending to pool resources together to undertake projects to make life better for the underprivileged in society. The health screening exercise, which is the second edition in the area, forms part of the NGO's annual plan aimed at extending healthcare to people who can't afford it. Bennett Nyasebi is the country director of 100K for Ghana.
Our job is to complement the work of government because we realize that the government alone cannot do everything. So we as individuals and citizens from Ghana and other countries across the world have just decided to come together, pool our own resources, including support from friends, partners, and other people to undertake some of these very important social interventions that we have identified in communities. This year, we added the renewal of national health insurance cards to whatever we were doing because we realized that a number of people are in the communities. You wonder they cannot even afford as little as 23 cedis or 6 Ghana cedis to renew health insurance card, which can help them have access to health care.
244 residents in Ajidome and its environs benefited from the health screening exercise, which provided free consultations, eye care services, and medications. The top 3 medical conditions identified were myalgia, anemia, and hypertension. The Dufia of Mafia Ajidome, Togbe Kwasinyi Kakakololo Ajima in the fifth, expressed worry about the prevalence of these conditions.
It's obvious that most of these things can be attributed to the abuse of substance. I mean, taking all sort of aphrodisiacs and then unprescribed drugs and the rest. I'd like to appeal to them. If we are saying that the youth are the future, are the leaders for tomorrow, then if we lose them this young, and as many of them are such, it means that we'll probably be having no leaders tomorrow. So my appeal is to the youth, I mean the entire youth of Ghana, that they should, abstain from these things, abusing substances. And the elderly, I think that we will encourage them to be doing checkups. And that is why I am committed to bringing people like 100K for Ghana. I mean, periodically to come to our people, to come to the service of our people.
The finance director of 100K for Ghana, Samuel Osei, appealed for support from the public to enable his outfit undertake projects aimed at improving livelihoods.
So right now we started off funding most of these projects and the health screening with our own monies. We wanted to show what we can do, individually brilliant, collectively superior, what we can all do. But going forward, we want to really push the public to donate as much as possible so that we can be able to put together health screening and you know, these type of projects. So that it really just provides livable wages for the community and also end the year in good health on a yearly basis, such as what's happening here today.
About 177 residents had their National Health Insurance Scheme cards renewed at no fee. Fred Kwame Asari, JoyNews, Ajidume.
Poor road infrastructure is almost synonymous with rural Ghana. However, for places where Ghana gets a lot of its resources, residents cannot comprehend how, despite their resources, the roads are left to deteriorate without attention from government. One of such places is Wasa Amenfi West Municipality. JoyNews' Samuel Chrome traveled to the area recently, and here is what the cameras captured.
A frustrated taxi driver in Asankragwa speaking to me about the impact of the poor nature of the Asankragwa Border Road. Driver Akwesi Abodo says he doesn't understand why their roads have been abandoned by government over the years.
Ye koko enam kwen so some matters for enam kwen so ye kwen nyina sese o ja sese koko se Ghana se wasa no ye ne wasa particular se ye ne ye nkan ho a mum ye hu kwen baba so ye de koko ni etimba no ebe ye chance ye koko ni etimba ene ne ma nyina gina wasa so nenso ne wasa hwe kwan body ha kakra tu asenkwa ma se tumi blessa ye ka etumi ye ta papai ye socks nyina sese passengers for nyina ma se obedu fe kwa no nyina ho week.
The Wasa area of the western region, especially Wasa Amenfi West, is a leading cocoa production area, contributing hugely to Ghana's cocoa output. However, it is among the areas with the poorest road networks in the country.
So that's an ambulance coming in towards Asankragwa. Now look at how slow the ambulance is driving. It is because of the poor nature of this road. So question is, if there's a patient in this ambulance, how fast can the ambulance take the patient?
The bad nature of the Border Asankragwa Road has been so for years now. Gloria, a resident of Cape Boateng, a community which is about 40 minutes drive from Asankragwa, says the nature of the road is a nightmare for people of this area. Kebedu is a driver in Asankragwa. He says the roads have been heavily impacting on their vehicles.
Ye kwan de no kra nyame anum emwaye ye no ye fa kwan so aye bre afi ye to pass na endu na wotwe na ya zo ba pai ye to bodwanta na sei ye to ensa na sei ye nji kwa tumi kopem na ye nji na se apai na nji no breki di amamba ivoro mo mwaye.
Gloria wants government to intervene.
This Hanum say no cast need tremor, Otomadi or Mutimi Bone soon go so. A good man, a son say honey and motos nenam honey, a day crabby the baby raga taimoma. Oh, yeah. The best rest on Barber no Mabaya.
Driver Akwesi Abodo is appealing to the Ghana Cocoa Board to construct their roads with a Cocoa Road initiative.
Wasani ne mana ye ne wodo wasase no ebo Ghana mo na se hwe kwan na so ye school ye bibia ne enso bibia na bia e kwan bia na wa papa and the assembly was a cocoa road no so mo ya o mo wae Oh, you might say, you're paying for a pound that could was a France. And your boy was a foy. Or my boy was a foy, now was science. You're crying into me because Coco somewhere. Or maybe why I'm saying now, I made Lavani, over by what you mamma, maybe new hurry, maybe a quino and a babua, a mamma name, my name, a bush, and some name was a treasure, man, never could say, yes, papas, as I said, better just coffee, obviously the quantity, and the diabo, you know, I said, a bread or a crown.
Driver Kebedu says if government doesn't intervene, they will advise themselves.
Your border will a demonstration. Still, almost all over Yama, so you will say, I feel the moment to say, contract as we have our ma. When you follow my yes, I can't hold demonstration there. And the band, our Yama can be free as a Grega, body and a book or so crop.
Only if government will heed to their request, it will bring a huge relief to the people producing Ghana's cocoa. From Asankragwa for Joy News, I am Samuel Kojo Brace.
We can now take you back to the President's response to the operations of Akonta Mining Company Limited, because the Lands and Natural Resources Minister, Abu Jinapo, has been reacting to the President's comments at Bema Camp this morning. My colleague Maxwell Agbagba spoke to him.
Support to government and the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources in our quest to preserve the lands and natural resources of our country. It would be remiss on my part if I did not give you a gist of what we resolved as it relates to illegal small-scale mining in Galamsey. The conclusions of our meeting, fundamental conclusion of our meeting, is that we are going to sustain our efforts at coming to grips with this menace, this existential threat of illegal small-scale mining. And the Military High Command, under the leadership of the CDS, is committed to continue to pursue the measures which they've rolled out currently to make sure that we resolve the issue of illegal small-scale mining in our country. And I want to thank the CDS once again. Thank you very much. We've reviewed our strategy, we've tweaked the strategy, and I believe that the Military High Command will roll them out and make them public as and when they deem it fit.
Many have said that we should have a post, a permanent post for the military men, so that it will not be a case where they come and then they go, because the legal men say that when the soldiers come, when they are tired and they leave, you come back. Are we going to have a permanent post?
Well, we'll leave that to the discretion of the Military High Command. Matters of strategy, operational strategy, and the rest, I think we'll leave that to them. But most important thing is that we are never going to relent. One more question. We are done.
Yes. Are we likely to see more deployment?
Well, we're going to keep up with it, and we're going to sustain the momentum. That I can assure you. The nitty-gritties of it, as I say, I'll leave it to the Military Command. Thank you very much. The President was responding to a request by the chairman of this Catholic Diocesan Priest Association Biennial Conference, Mr. Ken Ashigbe. Mr. Ashigbe, in his remarks, had appealed to the President, called on the President to speak to the issue of Akonta mining. And so the President sought to respond and assure the conference, and for that matter, the country. So the President's comments were actually an assurance to the conference and the country. And what was that assurance? The President said, as he spoke, and by that as at yesterday, Akonta mining was not engaged in any illegal mining activities in any forest reserve. And indeed, the President went further to assure the country that under his instructions, the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources and the Forestry Commission is actually cordoned off the 294 forest reserves in our country. He said that as well. You know, I mean, for some reason that is be taken out of the discourse. But the President gave a further assurance that not only is Akonta mining not engaged in illegal mining activity in any forest reserve, as he spoke yesterday, but additionally, he had put in place measures, his government had put in place measures to protect the 294 forest reserves of our country from attacks from illegal miners and illegal mining activities. So the President was not speaking about the wrongdoing or otherwise of Akonta mining in the past, the criminality or otherwise of Akonta mining in the past. He was not commenting on what happened in the past.
He was given an assurance of the state of affairs as at the time he was addressing the conference. And that is a statement of fact. And for me, I think that the president should be commended, the government should be commended, that we've gotten to a situation where we can confidently say that we are protecting the forest reserves of our country. That's essentially what the president said.
I mean, be taken out of context?
Well, I'm not too sure about it's been taken out of context or not, because it's really plain. I mean, what he said is there's no ambiguity. There's no ambiguity. I mean, it will only take, with the greatest of respect, a mischievous person to pretend that there is some ambiguity in what the president said. And as I keep emphasizing, the president was given an assurance following some anxiety expressed by one of the speakers at the conference. And I want to repeat, the president was not speaking to the issues of Akonta mining as they happened in the past. The substantive issues of the conduct or otherwise of Akonta mining are before the Ghana Police Service and the Special Prosecutor. And the president was not speaking to that. The president was given an assurance about the state of affairs as he spoke yesterday.
So there was a statement by people, there was a statement by residents at Summary Point. They said Akonta mining is moving back to the forest, to move back.
They intend to move back.
Well,
I don't have any such information. But that again, the president was not speaking to that. The president was speaking to what was the state of affairs as at the time he was addressing that conference. And the statement the president made, the conclusions the president reached at that time are statements of fact. I mean, it's a fact that Akonta mining is not engaged in any illegal mining activity in any forest as at yesterday. So
you heard there Abuja, his Minister for Lands and Forestry, Lands and Natural Resources. Some victims of the Appiah Explosion are now physically challenged with no money to access healthcare. Senior high school graduates from the community are also unable to proceed to the university due to lack of funds. That is the grim picture the Bipo Divisional Chief Nana Atta Ibrahim II has painted about the plight of persons who were affected by the blast. Speaking after inspecting the progress of work on the ongoing reconstruction of the community, Lands and Natural Resources Minister Abuja announced more plans to support the victims as he presented bags of rice, cooking oil and cash to the victims. Maxwell Agbaba was there for JoyNews.
I was in the Appiah community some hours after the huge explosion flattened it. A big crater is visible many meters away. The car carrying the explosive had stopped right in front of the community. The truck was torn into pieces after the detonation. No part of it was seen again. I met 60-year-old Joseph Appiah. He lost his 21-year-old son, his pup, and a house.
When I came to the scene, I said to a lot of people that I wish I would have died. Because it wasn't easy for me at that particular moment. But currently I'm managing. I have lost so many things. Like our referee said, I have drinking spot somewhere, store somewhere, and then 5 bedrooms. And then my new house is 10 bedrooms self-contained.
10 bedrooms?
Yeah, each room having its own washroom.
10 bedrooms? Yeah. So that's been completely destroyed or what?
Destroyed.
It is less than 2 weeks to the 1-year anniversary of the disaster. These women are gathered under tents singing to welcome a government delegation led by the Lands and Natural Resources Minister Samuel Abuja. Present here are the residents, traditional and opinion leaders, and more. The Port Divisional Chief Nana Atta Ibrahim II says some victims of the Appiah explosion are now physically challenged with no funds to get medical care. Some of the residents are still at the hospital. Others are still recuperating. Do not have any money. That's why we are begging for support. Some of our people are now physically challenged and cannot do any active work. Some of your children are SHS graduates and are unable to continue to the tertiary institution because their parents are bedridden. That is why I am begging for support, he said with a worried face. Minister of Lands and Natural Resources Samuel Abujinapo announced more plans to support the victims. He said government is committed to rebuilding the community and restoring the lives of the residents to what it was before or even better.
I must say that I'm very happy and excited about the progress of work. The work is on schedule, and God willing, all things being equal, by the end of this year, we will finish phase 1 of the Appiah reconstruction community, and that will enable us resettle the displaced people of Appiah. We are building a model community, building a community to become a model for other rural communities in our country. We are fully determined to make sure that we complete this reconstruction and ensure that the people of Appiah are resettled and resettled properly. It is going to be a climate-friendly community with all the amenities of a modern community: schools, hospital, clinics, community centers, markets, and everything that will make a community a habitable one, with roads and water, sanitation, and everything. And we want to assure Nana and his people that we will work to their satisfaction and make sure that we bring this dream to fruition.
Among others, he presented bags of rice cooking oil and made a cash donation to the people. He also inspected the ongoing reconstruction of Appiah. He's hopeful the contractors will be on schedule to complete the work in June.
We're going to have the community first of all, and the displaced indigenes will be resettled and resettled properly in settlements which were far advanced, far modern, far climatically friendly, and all of that. And we are insisting and determined to get value out of the funds which have been given out for this reconstruction. And I will also use this opportunity to continue to call on Ghanaians, to call on all and sundry to contribute to the fund, because as you can see, this is just phase 1 of the development. And indeed, people can take up even some of the projects like school blocks, nurseries, chief compounds, and all of that.
Architect of the Appiah Reconstruction Committee, Charles Blankson Hermans, says the buildings are environmentally friendly and all social amenities will be provided.
The original Appiah township that got blasted, comprising of about 120 houses or so, that is what is being built. The work is impressive. We are using the compressed earth bricks, making the green technology to be quite successful in its execution. It takes a bit more time to produce the compressed earth bricks, but it is very climatically inclined. So we are hoping that very soon they'll start the roofing of the house.
And so by the June 5th this year, how many houses are we going to see?
We should be able to finish the core. Yes, about 120. Obviously, because of the Christmas break, work has slowed down, but a lot has been done in the last 3-4 months. So we are hoping that by the June time, we should be able to do.
Residents of Salam Chrome in the Nkranza South Municipality of the Bono East region are appealing to authorities to urgently help them access telecommunications network. They say the lack of telecommunications network hamper effective communications in the area, with teachers and other government workers refusing postings to that area because they cannot have access to internet to do their research work and teach school children ICT. Correspondent Anna Sabit was in the area and now reports.
This is Salam Chrome, a predominantly farming community in the Nkranza South Municipality of the Bono East region. Residents here have for years decried the poor telecommunications network signals within the community. Opinion Nana Jemfi is an opinion leader here. He says residents sometimes have to risk climbing trees in trying to access telephone networks.
Achese uhwe nkwansa me ha kra na ekuru a anyini wo nkwansa district na emre kakere die aban bia baso ayi complete network yi
We've been complaining to successive governments about the terrible network here, but to no avail. Sometimes have to climb trees in trying to access telecommunications network, and this could lead to one falling off in the process. Kojo Eje on his part says the situation has compelled newly posted government workers, particularly teachers and nurses, to request for postings and leave the community soon after arriving in the community. Due to the terrible network situation here, government workers seek for transfers soon after their arrival, and as a result, we've been struggling here over the years. Some of the youth lament how the absence of an effective telecommunications network is affecting their businesses. Moses Tahiru is a painter.
Na me nkrofo am no mu ya adwuma to da bia wanya adwuma mpa no be frɛ wa onya.
I am a painter and people who need my services sometimes struggle reaching out to me, so for me the situation is affecting my work.
Me say person da etmema madwuma kora dan e ka chi
I have more friends who kwan bebre so because ne bibia dictator.
The situation is also affecting our pupils as they are unable to study using the internet for research. Pregnant women are equally affected during labor as they go through difficulties reaching transport operators to get them to Nkranza for health care. As women, we struggle a lot in seeking for medical care. The situation is even worse when we are in labor. They have appealed to government to help solve this long-standing challenge to boost the livelihoods of the people living in the community.
Salam Chrome ha. Network. Asim here, yes, a groomer. But night, Yanka network. You must be a become you. The idea is slow. Okono, Inkim Rem Mai. The Itimebaswa, at the once at the mem. Maybe I can yankupo.
The government, through its rural telephony project, is committed to extending basic telephone connectivity to underserved communities, and the people of Salam Chrome can't wait to have their share of the implementation of this project. Anna Sabit, JoyNews, Salam Chrome.
The one Municipal Chief Executive Alhaji Ishaka Tahiru Mumin is asking religious leaders not to use their position to divide congregations they lead. He wants them to be agents of development. Alhaji Mumin has been speaking at an event by the Upper West Regional Chief Imam to sponsor 16 brilliant but needy students. Rafiq Salam reports from Wa.
Upper West Regional Chief Imam Alhaji Osman Mahama Kane in October last year launched an educational endowment fund aimed, among other things, helping brilliant but needy students to pursue their education, especially at the tertiary level. Close to 3 months after the launch of the fund and in tandem with its objective, Board Secretary of the Imam Fund, Abdul Rahman Zakaria, disclosed that 18 students applied for sponsorship to pursue various programs at the tertiary level for the 2022-2023 academic year. He said the Imam Educational Fund has since Wednesday paid the fees of 15 students and the accommodation of 1 student, both amounting to 33,003 cedis 48 pesos.
The applications were vetted. The applicants were subsequently interviewed by the Evaluation and Assessment Committee of the Fund. I am delighted this evening to report that as of 3rd January 2023, the Regional Chief Imam Educational Endowment Fund had paid the school fees for 15 students, and have paid the accommodation fee for one applicant, making it 16 in all. The regional chief imam would like to use this opportunity to appeal to corporate organizations, non-governmental organizations, and individuals to contribute towards the sustenance of this fund.
Due to the non-discriminatory and irreligious nature of the fund, Danyo Vincent is a Christian and is being sponsored by the Imam's Fund to pursue civil engineering at the Nkrumah University of Science and Technology.
We want to assure him that when we go to school, we are going to make this scholarship meaningful. We are going to make good use of it, and we are going to learn very hard so that in future, this scholarship will not be a waste. We are going to make it and make him proud.
Other beneficiaries of the fund also says their thoughts.
To do our best so that in the future we will come with more funds to support more needy students.
Inshallah, we will try our possible best. We will do our best to become people better in future so that one day we will be the ones to help people like this. We are indeed grateful for whatever you've done to us.
One Municipal Chief Executive, Issa Moment, commended the Appiah Regional Chief Imam for the initiative, urging other leaders in the country not to use their positions to load over the people, but to bring unity and development to their areas.
The conditions for qualification does not preclude people from other faiths, and that is the hallmark of leadership, and that is an epitome of a leader who wants everybody.
And time for sports. Michelle Queno is here. It's about the two blues.
The two blues, yes, and one is feeling more blue than the other.
Why is the Hamatan affected?
You could say so because at the moment, Chelsea, oh good, they are looking more like Brekum Chelsea.
My goodness.
Sorry to Brekum Chelsea fans out there, you know. don't take it to heart. It's just banter about.
But you're a fan of Chelsea.
I mean, yeah, but sometimes as a fan, you should put emotions aside and use your head. You should know where you stand on the scale because at the moment, 7 points off top 4, lying in 8. Even I think Brentford is ahead of Chelsea at the moment, and it's not looking like the club will go to 10 points around the corner soon because results are not really going their way. Like the last game drawing with Nottingham Forest, you can say Manchester City drew to Everton, but you know for Manchester City, they have the names who can just send things around like in a split second like magic.
Yeah.
De Bruyne can do anything from anywhere, and Haaland, if you give Haaland half a yard, not even half a yard, less than half a yard in the penalty box is going to hurt you. They have names like Phil Foden, they have who else you can speak about. I was even going to mention Grealish, but no, let's talk about Bernardo Silva.
Okay.
Now let's look at the Chelsea team. Who is going to step up for you when the going gets tough? It's difficult to find an individual. Who's their striker? Aubameyang. Aubameyang is not the Aubameyang you know from 2 years ago. Who are our midfielders? You have N'Golo Kante out on a long-term injury. Who are just going to step in? We have Zakaria trying to pull up a fiber. If you look at Zakaria, if you look at Rodri, the golfing class and the golfing quality is a bit different. And if you look at the technical bench, we have Graham Potter here and you have Pep Guardiola here. Jesus Christ. Charlie, Chelsea fans, if you are watching this, if you are watching this, I'm going to tell you this. Do not expect too much. Just go and sit behind the TV at 8 p.m. and pray. That's all.
Football, so, I mean,
well, yeah, we always make this statement that football has lots of surprises. You can don't expect too much in football because you might expect. I'm going to tell you this. 2 years ago, when Liverpool won the Premier League, Chelsea beat City. One was not expected because City needed to win that game.
You know,
and it still happened, but.
But
let's not give the Chelsea fans hope.
Just eat first. Just take whatever makes you happy first before you watch the match.
No, it's going to be a very long evening.
It's going to be. But
from 8 to 10 p.m. Oh my goodness. And then a good thing, after 10 p.m. you're just going to sleep immediately. Don't talk.
You know, that makes it fun. I mean, you just go, no talking, no discussion, and by the time you wake up the next day, you'll be fine.
You won't be fine. That was the first night going. Hey, so we lost last night.
You'll be fine. And thanks for bringing us sports.
Thanks for having me.
And that'll be it for sports. That'll be it for News Desk this morning. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Log on to myjournalline.com. There's more of the news. See you again at 12.